What's up, guys? It's No Life, back here with another video to try to help some people out, especially our newer members that might not know much about PvP. Please excuse me if I get my words jumbled up. I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep in the last 36 hours with the world tension at my job, so it's just one of those things. But when developing a PvP march for Alliance Duel, Battlefield, SVS, no matter what, it has to be set up properly. If you do not have a layered march, you will fail. You will never win an attack against anybody. So, to set up a layered march, what you want to do is you want to come to your rally spot. Okay? You want to click on March Preset, and it'll bring up the screen for you to set up your marches. Now, you might have 2, you might have 3. I think all these depend on VIP level, yeah. And so, everybody's going to start with an archer march. That's what you want to start with. So what you're looking for on your general, let me go back to my generals. You want to identify who's a proper range general. So the first thing you'll see is this little icon here that shows you that he's an archer general. Then you want to come to the skill book down here, right here, and you want to read it. And you want to make sure it's all about that ranged. For your ranged general, you might not have somebody spectacular yet. That's okay. Go with the best option that you have. Just don't, if he's not a great general, if his buffs aren't 50% or higher, or 45% or higher, don't invest too much into him. When I say invest to him, I'm talking about in his specialties and Blood of Ares. If you do that, you gotta, when you decide to get rid of them and you want to delete them, you can only either pick to get the Blood of Ares back or the rune stones. You lose all your gems. It'll be a big setback. So make sure to invest in somebody. You can ask an alliance chat who we would recommend you go with of your generals. And then whenever you get new generals, you could ask, hey, is this a good replacement? But the main thing is you want to find your first archer general. And then you want to go ahead and start gearing him up. You might not be able to get red equipment yet if you're not the proper level. That's perfectly fine. You can go with King's gear in your forge to start out with. But you could ask us what gear is best for what generals. Obviously, the archer guy, you're going to want, a bow, right? But if the best you got's a king bow, hey, it's better than no bow, alright? So you want to outfit your general with gear. Don't go too crazy, because you do want to save it for when you get unlock the ability to get like Achaemenid gear or dragon gear. As you can see, my gear's not fully done yet. I haven't been able to join battlefields like I would like because of my job, so I don't have the badges that I need to complete my archer general. But that's all secondary. Like I said, I'm probably going to get a little sidetracked just because I'm tired. The next thing you want to do is find a good assistant general. You'll know it's a good assistant general if it's also ranged and you look at the skill book and it's still gold. If it's grayed out like this one here, that means that skill book is being unused. And so, especially if this main skill book right here is grayed out, it's pointless to even have them there because it's basically like not having an assistant general at all. Basically, your assistant general is good for adding more skill books. So your main general is going to have 3 open spots for skill books, and your assistant will. When I made my assistant, I mistakenly added this skill book, range troop range bonus, which I believe, is already on Fran, so it's grayed out. I did it by accident. I just got to build up more skill books to replace it. But the main ones you definitely want to have is like, you want troop defense, range troop HP. If you can add range troop attack, Fran's he doesn't allow you to have a ranged troop attack skill book because his basic skill is already higher. But then you definitely want to have a march size skill book. March speed's always good. But I haven't fully finished mine either. The biggest thing, like when I started out talking, is that it needs to be a layered march. A layered march means that you have so many of whatever troops, of every troop type and every troop tier. So if you have a 1,000,000 size march, if your march size is 1,000,000, you should have at the minimum 1,000 troops in your troop layers, and that goes all the way down to T1. It is absolutely necessary to protect your upper tiers. If you do not have a layered march and you're going up against somebody with a layered march, they will eat your T13s or T14s alive. You have to have a layered march all the way down to T1. And that's for protection of your big guys. If you don't have protection of your big guys, they're going to die. It's just as simple as that. No reason to go too in-depth with it. With that, you want to have a certain ratio. You want to have, so like with ranged, I believe I normally do like 60%. All my marches are a little bit off right now, just because I've been testing some things to try to win points trade-off if I hit somebody with even power or whatever. But so like on my ground, I usually do 80 in the top tier, and then I'll split these 10% and 10%. And so when you're layering, you want to have 1,000 of each layer, except for your top 3 layers of that troop type. So since this is a ground march, I would go here. If you long press here, you can select this to 1,000. It's probably going to be at 1 to begin with. You want to change this to 1,000. Boom. And then when you go to full tiers, you could just tap that and it's going to add 1,000 on everything. I'll go ahead and show you on my siege march, because on my siege march I only have top tier siege because it's barbarians times. But so let's long press here. We'll change this to 1 because that's what yours is going to say. So if I adjust this and go to full tiers, it's only going to add 1 troop to every tier all the way down. So what you want to do, it'll save you a lot of time, is change this to 1,000. Boom. And now, whenever you go to full tiers, it's going to put 1,000 every troop type all the way down to T1s. It's a massive time saver. And so what I want to set up is my, I want to set up a T11, or yeah, T11 siege march. So I want to have mostly T11s. My march size is a little bit smaller on this one. So I'm just going to rough guess it. This one changes periodically based off of what I see when I scout something. So this will change. But so this is what's called a T11 siege march, but pretend my T11 is your upper tier, my T12 is your second to lowest tier, and then my T13 is your lowest. Just pretend it's set up that way. Kind of like on, oh no, I didn't save it, my range. So your top 3 tiers of that troop type. So this is my archer march, so my T14 archers, my T13 archers, and my T12. If you only have T13, your top tier is going to be T13 archers. Your second tier will be T12, and your third tier will be T11. But basically, you want to set them up in percentages, and you can figure out with your generals, with whatever march you're going with, what percentages would be the best. I believe with archers, it's best to set it up like 60% top tier, and then split your 20% down here. But But you have to have a layered march for PvP. Absolutely, or all your troops are going to die. You're going to lose every battle with somebody that has a layered march. Doesn't matter if you have T13 or T14s and they have T13s. You're going to lose. Because every battle in Evony is round-based. No point in going too deep into it in a short video. Just know your troops are going to die if you just send full tier troops. But that's basically it, guys. Add layers. The Archer March, you want to have about 60% of your march, which you can see your march size right here. You want to have about 60% of your march in your top tier, and then split the rest of the percent between your next two lowest tiers, or your next two highest tiers for that march. Alright, I'm sorry if it didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm doing my best on a minimal amount of sleep. But if you guys have questions, always reach out in email or line chat. Thank you. Bye.